It was Agatha all along. So Agatha has her new own television show, which so far so good. Um, she kind of lost her powers after the whole WandaVision show, so she's trying to get them back. Uh, and in order to do that, she needs to go and venture on the Witch's Road. And in order to do that, she needs to gather a coven of her own. And there's different types of witches, so you need Earth Witch. They have like a Earth Witch, they have like a Potions Witch, a Divinations Witch, and they need to go to the Witch's Road to get all their powers back, because I guess they all lost their powers, but Agatha really wants the powers back. And in the comic books, she does this with Scarlet Witch, because Scarlet Witch has to venture into the Witch's Road to find her heritage. It's a whole big thing. But one detail about the Witch's Road is you cannot go to the Witch's Road unless you are an actual witch. So, spoiler alert, if you hadn't seen it, go check out Agatha All Along, and let's get into today's discussion about what is the Witch's Road and what's going to happen. Hit that button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you after that. No. And let's get into it. In the comic books, Wanda Maximoff is questioned about her heritage, questioned about her witchery and where she comes from, and her witch's background. So she ventures to the Witch's Road along the help of Agatha to find her heritage and discover her witch heritage. And she discovers Natalia Maximoff, which is her mother. And her mother, of course, is an actual witch, so we find out where she gets her powers from. So one has to go through all these different trials to basically find herself, and this is after the whole WandaVision series, I guess you could say, if you mix the comic books and television shows, they kind of match up. But however, in Agatha All Along, it takes place after WandaVision, so Agatha tries to control the WandaVision show when Wanda gets all upset and because of Vision's death and so on and so forth. And after the events of WandaVision, Agatha loses her powers and she wants to venture to the Witch's Road to gain her powers back. So she goes around and creates a coven of witches that she knows, and she finds this young boy who she calls her familiar. He's basically this young teen that thinks witchcraft is cool, but we'll get to a little secret a little bit about him. And then she goes to, first she finds Willa, who is a divination witch, who basically is a fortune teller with the crystal ball and tells her secrets. So she joins the coven, not willingly at first, but because they all know of Agatha's reputation, they kind of are afraid to join. However, they decide to join in the end. Alice Wu Gulliver, whose mother was a witch and she apparently got lost on the Witch's Road, so Agatha uses this to avenge, like, hey, you come with me, maybe you can find your mother on the Witch's Road and we can find her and you get your powers back at the same time. Oh, and Alice Wu is a protection witch, so she is very good at protection spells, I guess. Then we get Jennifer Kale, who is like the potions master. She has all these, she's in this candle shop. She creates these awesome candles that you can eat the wax while it's melting, and it's supposed to like help you. So she's great at potions. She joins the coven as well. One of the greatest witches of all time, who may or may not be an actual witch. And this character, this actress, she's fantastic. It's Kitty from That 70s Show, and she plays Mrs. Hart or Sharon Davis. So they need to find an Earth Witch, and they had this list of all these names, and the last name showed a heart. So Agatha goes, I know exactly who that is, let's go get her. And she just wants to get this done with. And she finds Mrs. Hart doing gardening. So she's the Earth Witch. And Agatha's like, hey, I need your help. We're going to do this, that. And she's like, my name is not Mrs. Hart. My name is actually Sharon Davis. Mrs. Hart is the persona that was created for me by Wanda when Wanda did her crazy thing. So it's kind of funny that like the town of Westview kind of acknowledges that like, yeah, Wanda did this spell on us. We came out of it, and you know, we remember what happened there, but we had no control over that like world that we were living in. So Wanda changed her name from Sharon Davis to Mrs. Hart, and Agatha just is like, okay, you come with me. We're having a party at my house. Now, she doesn't show any signs of powers. So she goes down there. They all go to the basement of Agatha's house, and they start singing this really cool witches ballad. And it's just really cool. I'm not going to play it for you, obviously, because I can get copyrighted, but it is a fantastic song. And by singing this song, you open up the gates to this other realm of the Witch's Road. All the witches are downstairs, and then the young kid is upstairs, kind of just sitting around waiting for everything to happen, because the witches need to be together to do this magical ritual together. And as the young boy's upstairs, these other evil witches and stuff like that start, I think the witches, whatever, but they start trying to break into the house. He runs downstairs like in a panic, like we gotta go, and they open up the Witch's Road doors, and the young boy jumps down and runs down the stairs, and then they all start running down the stairs. And then they are on the Witch's Road. This is where the episode ends, where we see them taking off their shoes and stepping on to the Witch's Road. All of them. All the witches, including the young boy. Now, one question I had is why they taking their shoes off. And if you look in the credits, there's a quick little thing. In the credits, there's a quick little Easter egg that tells you about walking on the Witch's Road barefoot and by taking your shoes off. And this is a way that they basically connect with nature a lot more and connect with the realm and the powers of the Witch's Road itself. So basically you being one with nature, you know, walking around, feeling everything on your feet and connecting with the Witch's Road itself. So all these witches are going on the Witch's Road now, and they are promised a grand reward at the end of the Witch's Road, which apparently no other witch has been able to do. Agatha says that she was able to go there and return. So on this journey of the Witch's Road, they had to go through many different trials in order to make it to the end. So they had to face the most, you know, horrible fears or something like that. It is stated that no mortal person can enter the Witch's Road. No mortal being can step foot on the Witch's Road. And we are under the impression that Mrs. Hart Sharon Davis, aka Kitty from that 70s show is just a random woman that lives in Westview that likes to garden. And we're under the impression that the boy that she takes on as familiar is just a crazed teenage boy who loves to think about witchcraft and is interested in witches. So those two are not magical at all, so they shouldn't be able to enter the Witch's Road. However, they do. So Mrs. Hart is a witch without even knowing it, and the young boy has some powers that we don't know about yet. So I'm excited to keep watching the rest of the show and see where the show continues. I like the whole aspect of it. There's a lot of different culture aspect of, witches culture, and they brought kind of a lot together. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Agatha was a great character in WandaVision, so far so good. And let me know your thoughts down below. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below your thoughts. Do you think Mrs. Hart is actually a witch, or is she just a mortal that somehow was able to gain access to Witch's Road? I'm curious, because everything I've read about the Witch's Road and the comic books and everything else, it says that no mortal can enter the Witch's Road. You need to be a witch or quote unquote a warlock in order to enter the Witch's Road. You need to have that magical essence about yourself. So in order for Sharon Davis, aka Mrs. Hart, aka Kitty, she needs to be a witch in some fashion in order to enter Witch's Road. So let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, make sure you hit the join button where you get access to future videos like this before everybody else. You also get a few other perks. Go check it out to see what those perks are. Check out my merch store. I got awesome shirts like this. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Before you go, make sure you check out that video right there. And yeah, just enjoy and sing the Witch's Ballad, because it's a good song. Maybe you can conjure up your own portal to the Witch's Road and have a grand, scary adventure.